comparable to anybody?
I think their SES is a GS-15.
A permanent bureaucracy?
Oh yeah, it is. Now there are places that's actually good. I worked with a GS. I worked with a GS that was in Korea for 5 years, right? In SES in Korea for 5 years. A brilliant man. He's been in Korea for a long time. He knows it really well. But then, like you said, you get the nepotism, and Korea is just raw with nepotism. Korea. How about a quick story? You guys will love this, right? And it will blow your mind. Okay. So, and I'll sort of point this out, but you got North Korea up here, right? And you've got South Korea here. Seoul is maybe 40 miles from the border of North Korea, right? You got about almost 30 million people right there. I worked for USFK J8, right? So it was transformation and relocation. It was our job to move all of the bases basically throughout South Korea to largely one base that's going to hold about 30,000 American troops and contractors in a place called Camp Humphreys. And so Camp Humphreys is about 45 minutes south of Seoul, right? So you got North Korea, you've got Seoul, and then you've got Camp Humphreys, with basically where all of our troops are now, right? So if we go to war with North Korea, and you got North Korea heading south towards Seoul, right? You're going to have 30 million people living in Seoul evacuating south. They're not going to go north, right? So how are you going to move 30,000 troops north when you got 30 million people on mopeds in a panic heading south? And we only paid $10 billion for that. Quite a steal.
We paid $10 billion for what?
For the relocation, Camp Humphreys.
I sold a sign there, by the way, so I'm semi-famous.
Yeah, it's insane, right? Yes, sir.
Do you have any information on the people that went after Judge Kavanaugh?
Well, when I don't have it, I have personal knowledge,
I've read
right?
that,
So
her family was brainwashing technically.
when you develop these, when you work with these guys, you recognize it, right? You can't intentionally. I couldn't prove anything when it comes to IIA. It's by its very nature. We've made it to be undetectable and virtually unprovable, right? Zero attribution. So, but you can see things. You can tell things, right? So I go. When I saw the elevator incident during the Kavanaugh trial, I wish somebody would have found out who drove those two women there. I guarantee you, it's a contractor who works for a company very similar to Clear Force, Fusion GPS. Fusion GPS, same thing, Clear Force. I guarantee you're going to find crossover between Dynology, Clear Force, Fusion GPS, Side Group. They're all within 30 miles or so of each other. They're all right there in Tyson's Corner in Virginia.
Working with Flake and all that.
Yeah, right. But when I saw that, I was like, that's an IIA. When it's just certain things just stand right out. That was blatant in IIA. It was nice. It was very effective. Bravo. That the Indian thing with that kid, right? With the 16-year-old kid. Now they wouldn't necessarily set that up, but they would be scanning for that incident. They will find it, and then we will just put it out. We will put it out to. Why not? Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you create your own news companies, your own everything, and just create your own distribution to make it look like it's real? There are things at play here, folks, and y'all are being completely in the dark, kept in the dark about it. And it's corruption at the highest level. It's corruption. Our fourth estate is shot. I thought that this was like a outside the U.S. thing, right? It's so clear. Why isn't my story ever been on any major news organization? Yes, sir.
When did they move that base in Korea?
Humphreys? I left in 2015. We were moving it. It was pretty much done. All the hospitals, animal shelters, everything. In 2016, 2017. So yeah.
It was an Obama.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Actually, it was a Donald Rumsfeld Trump a temper tantrum that turned into an Obama project, as the Obama socialism project over there. But the horrible thing, right, is how did we obtain that property for Camp Humphreys? Because these were like farmers, these were Korean farmers and stuff, and they had chained themselves to a church, refusing to let us come in there and do that. So our State Department people just went in and burnt the church down.
Where did they move Camp?
Well, you can't chain yourself to a church if you burn it down. There is complete logic to this with these people, right?
Where did they move Camp Humphreys?
What's that?
Where did they move Camp?
Well, no, Camp Humphreys is what we moved to. So we built Camp Humphreys we built USFK J8 that was transferred.
Everything from Chuncheon over to Reechung-bu, Camp Casey, that's still there.
They're there, but all of the American troops and such, right? And not all of them are still there. Most are being closed out, but all of our troops are largely now right there. That's the purpose for it. We built it to hold 30,000 troops, and there are 30,000 troops and contractors in Korea right now. It's a massive. It's a city with 30,000 people. The taxpayers built in Korea. When Trump comes in and says we're wasting money in Korea, I'm like, oh my God, I love this person. He's being honest about it. Any more questions? I love these. Yes, sir.
What's the difference, in your opinion, between the Grand Army of the Republic and the U.S. Army?
The Grand Army of the Republic and the U.S. Army? You mean like the old school?
Right.
No, what's the difference in them?
1800s.
I don't know how to answer that. You know, I was a 40-year-old private in this army, so it's got its problems, but it was wonderful. We did some amazing things. All
Are
right.
you in the U.S. Army?
Army Reserve, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yep.
So do you know that that's a privately owned corporation?
No,
Yeah, it is.
no, I didn't follow that. But the military-industrial complex. One last thing, when we were over in Iraq, I told you about how we created what was called the Sahwa, the awakening, right? And that's what we used to bring the Sunni and Shia together. We brought them together by giving them a common enemy, right? So that's sort of what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to give Democrats and Republicans, let them see that they're being hoodwinked, right? Democrats don't like it any more than you guys do. When they hear my story, oh my God, I shut every Democrat that I've ever spoken to is just like broken when they get done, because I literally held the only Obama for America meetup in all of Iraq, right? I held it in a bomb shelter, which I named the Obama shelter. And it wasn't because I was like Democrat, I was an independent, but we were like, no, we don't want these troops. I was totally against McCain. So what choice did I have? I'm in Baghdad, and so we were literally supporting Obama for that, but no. Can we get one more real quick one? I will answer it quick as heck for this guy. That's a good question. Like I said, if I was her information assurance guy, at the very least, and this is all I've ever asked for, I wasn't yelling lock her up. I was yelling make her do the IA test. It's a stupid 10-question test that if you send an email that has a social security number or something that's unencrypted, you have to, in order to be able to continue to have access to an unclassified government network, you got to take this stupid 10-question IA test that all of the answers are online. You can Google, right? They didn't even make her take that. So please make her accountable.
Okay, Marty.
I just want to know, is your website, is it the American Awakening?
No, my website's victimoftheswamp.com, right? And we're actually doing a lot of stuff. We're working with Bikers for 45, right? With Rick Sarmiento. We got a million felons that are gonna be able to vote, right? I actually ran for supervisor elections in 2004 in Pasco County. Whole other story. It's great though. But, so we're actually working on a bunch of things. The awakening is about wakening people up, right? Half of there are gonna be 1 million felons that are gonna be voting in Florida. And if they vote for Democrat, they're basically voting to put them right back in prison. Who do you think put them in prison in the first place? Whose laws put them in the prison in the first place? So we're working with Bikers for 45 on that. We're going to try to get some things going with registration drives for felons when they come out. Who's better to register felon than bikers? And so we have a lot of stuff. So yeah, hit our site with that and become involved with it.
Last question, how deeply involved in the deep state is the Muslim community?
Look at, that's a good question, right? Look at Omar, and then look at what I said about the Syrian Electronic Army, and then look at, say, why the hell is she in office? It's highly improbable, isn't it? Well, I make improbable things happen. And when I look at that, I see the work of somebody that I want to hire. So, same with AOC, who George Calavo with Bikers for Trump said that she was actually brought in on I don't know if this is true, brought in on like a casting call.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Finally, honesty. You know. So thank you very much, folks. I appreciate your time.
All right, now you're filled up with secret stuff. And I'll go home and tell my wife I can't remember what he says. All I know is it was a boy. I don't know how long it was, how much it weighed, you know, you know, it is amazing. And I don't know about you guys, but it angers me to think that I spent 20 years in the Army. I retired before you got in. Yes. I was 40 when I retired.
It was a lot easier to retire.
Yeah, and of course I signed up on purpose too because the guy in Bartow told me I had no choice. Anyway, I like I say this is one of those kind of presentations you go, what the heck? Now what do we do? Well, we're going to think about it hard and see what we can do. One of the things is that, just like he said, let's get his website out there. Let's talk to everybody that we can talk to. Some people are going to think, well, you're nuts. It's not that bad. Well, eventually you're going to be able to say I told you so. So, I do know this. We've got just a couple of folks that have got some real important things to say before we get out of here. Kenny, you want to jump to the call?
Yeah.
Kenny asked for two. Lynn asked for 6 minutes, and he's not here tonight. I'm going to dock him. He's only going to get 1 minute next time.
Connected to Tea Party Patriots, Ashley, we're going to have a rally day for the celebration of our 10th anniversary, which is the 16th, 15th, I'm sorry, day before the tax ban. And my plans are to make some big signs.